Hello, I just finished a book last night that I really want to talk about, and that book was She Started It by Sian Gilbert. That is how you pronounce it. I Googled it. She Started It came out in June of this year, June of 2023, so it's a brand new book. It is 340 pages long, and it currently has a 3.62 on Goodreads, which is not super high. I gave it a 3. To me, a 3 is most of the books I read. Okay, a 2 is like, didn't like that. 1, I've only given a handful of 1s to a book in my whole life, and those are ones that were so bad, I almost couldn't finish it. I almost never DNF books though. I will fight till the bitter end to finish that book, but if that's the kind of book I'm reading, it's a 1. I save 4s for books that I'm like, I really liked that, and 5s are books that like changed my life. So if we're talking about that kind of scale, she was a 3. Average read. It was, we're gonna get into the things I liked about it. It was kind of fun. So just a warning, I am going to spoil the ending. Not right away, I'll give you a warning closer to that time, but I'm gonna talk about the ending because the ending is part of why this book did not get a higher rating, and I will explain why. So the plot of this, without getting into any spoilers, is these 4 women who used to be high school besties and have kind of drifted apart throughout the years receive an invitation from a 5th woman that they went to high school with to not only be her bridesmaids in her wedding, but to come to her bachelorette party on like a beautiful private island in the Bahamas. And these 4 women find this very odd because they have not spoken to this 5th woman in about 10 years since they graduated high school, and also they were never very good friends with her. They actually bullied her very bad in high school. But because these 4 women are awful and selfish and horrible, the invitation includes a first class plane ticket, and their entire trip is paid for. The island, everything. So they say, who cares if we hated her in high school? Who cares if we haven't talked to her in 10 years? Let's go to this bachelorette party. So red flag number 1. You can definitely tell this was written by a British author because she uses words like torch instead of flashlight and hen party instead of bachelorette party. I mean, the word hen party, the phrase hen party is used over and over and over. I didn't realize that's what they called bachelorette parties in England. To me, that's bizarre. A hen party. So the characters, the 4 friends who are awful and bullies. There's Annabelle. She's like in high school, she was like the ringleader, the head bully. She is currently a sad, miserable housewife and also a serial shoplifter, which we find out later in the book. Chloe, who is stupid and pretty, is basically how she's described. And her profession is that she's an influencer. So go Chloe. Esther is an investment banker or something, and she only got that job because her mommy got her the job. So, and then last but not least, we have Tanya. She's a professional party planner and cocaine addict. So those are the 4 women that are invited on this trip. The bachelorette herself, the bride, is a woman named Poppy. She was the victim of all their horrible bullying in high school. They haven't seen her in 10 years. So without spoiling anything, okay, these 4 women arrive on this private island. Poppy is there to greet them. Right off the bat, things are awkward because obviously they were never super close, haven't talked in 10 years. They're bridesmaids in this wedding for this woman they haven't talked to in years. And things quickly go from awkward to very sinister. If you haven't read the book yet, I'm going to start spoiling it starting now. So you've been warned. What I really liked about this book was that it was juicy with a capital J. There are so many secrets. These girls get exposed left and right for the crap they've done to other people in their lives and to each other, and they are awful. Not a single person in this book is likable. And I mean not a single person. They're all awful, selfish, terrible people. And I kind of liked that because I wasn't rooting for a specific character. It's kind of like they all got what was coming for them, and that was kind of fun. There are flashbacks. So in the beginning, we know that obviously these girls were super mean to Poppy. We know that in high school. But we get flashbacks via Poppy's diary that explain just how bad this bullying really was. And it was horrendous. They did horrible things to this poor girl in high school. And she's a page turner. Once it got to, so there is a point in the book where Poppy's kind of pretending like this is a normal bachelorette party and things are weird because she keeps bringing up the past and the girls are like, I thought we were over that. And finally we learn Poppy has taken all their phones away and literally ruined each of their lives. So she exposed Tanya's cocaine addiction. She posted a video of Esther skinny dipping, which made her lose her job. Chloe, she posted a video of Chloe saying something pretty homophobic, which Chloe did say. So like, that's where I'm like, these girls kind of all whatever, like they get what they have coming, which Chloe loses hundreds of thousands of followers, and Chloe being an influencer, that's like a big deal. And then Annabelle, she tells Annabelle basically that her husband's been cheating on her with like multiple women. So she ruins each of these women's lives. And that's when they start to realize, oh, yeah, she brought us all here for a reason. She's not letting bygones be bygones. She's ruining her lives. The next day, Poppy is missing from her bed and the bed is covered in blood. And then slowly the other girls start getting picked off. It is very, it's giving And Then There Were None mixed with like Pretty Little Liars. Kind of that thing of where Poppy's dead. We're on an island, a deserted island. One of us did it. The only thing is they never find Poppy's body, but there is so much blood in her room that she's dead. Like there's no way whatever happened to her, there's no way she survived. So Poppy's dead, someone hid the body, it's one of these four. Who did it? They're all they don't trust each other, they're all turning against each other. It was just, once it gets to that part, I couldn't stop reading. I needed to know what was going on. The one major kind of letdown with this book was that I guessed the plot twist, and I am bad at this. I am not good at guessing plot twists. I almost never do. This one I figured out fairly quickly. And the only thing I would say is that this author dropped a lot of hints, almost too many hints as to what the plot twist was going to be. And I'm going to go through them. So right away, they arrive on the island, and the lady that's shuttling them to the island on this like boat, his name is Robin, and she thinks Annabelle is the bride. For some reason, she thinks Annabelle is Poppy, or Annabelle is the bachelorette in the situation. She's not. But since Annabelle's loves attention, she just lets her think that she's the bride. And like the very opening scene in this book is Robin arriving on the island and finding the bride covered in blood and just like shaken up. So like right away, we know Annabelle survives. Annabelle survives this whole thing because it tells us like the first page. Okay, so that's a major hint or spoiler that I figured out right away. It's like, well, Annabelle lives because here Robin thinks she's the bride, and the book opens with Robin's perspective finding the bride covered in blood. Okay, big old hint that, kind of, we know Annabelle lives. Okay, another huge hint as to what the ending is that when they arrive on the island, all four girls are like, holy, that looks nothing like Poppy. And they all chalk it up to, she must have had plastic surgery. She must have lost a lot of weight. Big red flag. That woman looks nothing like Poppy. And then the one that made me figure out the twist, or I'm like, oh, okay, I know where this is going, was one of Poppy's journal entries talks about her younger sister Wendy wanting to go to med school. The Poppy on this island is a doctor. So that's when I was like, I see where this is going. I also right away guessed when Poppy's body disappears, she faked her own death. Like, whatever. There's blood everywhere. My first thought was, it's either not real blood or it's like the animal blood. We find out later it's animal blood. So like a lot of the things that happen in this story were just a little like, not like almost like predictable, or like tropes that happen a lot in these type of books where it's like, oh, it was pig's blood, not real blood. Her body was gone. Yeah, because she faked her death. So basically, trigger warning, there's some very upsetting things that happen in this book, but it turns out the real Poppy, because she was bullied so horrifically by these girls in high school, took her own life. And her younger sister Wendy and her parents never really recovered and never forgave these four women for what they did to her. So Wendy put together this whole charade of, oh, Poppy's getting married and Poppy wants these four girls at her bachelorette party and whatever. Poppy died 10 years ago, and these girls were so like just horrible and mean and didn't care about anyone but themselves. They didn't even know Poppy had died by suicide because the parents kind of kept it hush hush and stuff. So I loved the ending. I'm not gonna lie. I think it was a great it was a great twist. I just wish there hadn't been so many hints, because I like it when you look back and you think, oh, that was a hint and I didn't catch it. This was not that way. There were big hints all over the place, where I think about 60% of the way through, I was like, it's Wendy. I didn't see the part of Poppy being dead coming, I will say that, but I knew it wasn't really Poppy. I knew she wasn't, when the body was gone, she wasn't really dead, yada yada. And basically in the end, Wendy pieces out, says Poppy doesn't exist, you know, and Annabelle, the lone survivor, is found by Robin and the police. 3 of her friends are dead. She's covered in blood. And that's how the book ends, basically, is that Wendy won. All the 3 women are dead, and Annabelle, the ringleader, in her mind, the worst one, is going to go down for it all. So this was a fun read. I really I enjoyed reading it. Like I said, page turner. But I saw the ending coming. Sean, you put in too many clues, girl. Don't make it so obvious next time. This is her first book, I believe. I will read more by her because I think this was a great debut novel. So pick up She Started It by Sian Gilbert. Lots of British slang in this one, but if you look past that, it was a pretty fun read.